Are you ready to live your dream? Motivation, inspiration, and passion. That's what it takes to make dreams come true. Welcome to the Nadia Sahari Show. Our guests will share important tips, insights, and knowledge to help you fulfill your dreams of success. Here's your host, actress, author, entrepreneur, Nadia Sahari.
Hello, friends. Hello, superstars. This is your host, Nadia Sahari. Sit right down and enjoy the show, the Nadia Sahari Show. I'm so glad you're here. I have a beautiful, beautiful guest today. But before we begin, let me tell you that what this show is about. I know you've heard it before, but I say it differently every single time. We all have dreams. We're all dreamers. We dream of being an actor in a movie. We dream of writing our music and recording our music and maybe getting on a record label, a big one. Maybe we want to be entrepreneurs and have our own business. Those are all beautiful, beautiful things to dream about. But can you do it? Of course you can do it. We all can do it. If one person can do it, anybody can do it. It's just about passion. It's about perseverance. It's about believing in yourself. That's why I invite guests to my show who will share their secrets, their journey, and their challenges. How did they do it? What did they do? What motivated them? When did they begin? Did they fail? Did they pick up? What made them successful? My guest today is a beautiful young lady. She's an actress. She's a voiceover actress. She's beautiful. I know she does more than that. And we're going to let her tell us about it and not just me talking. And I would love to introduce to you the beautiful actress, Vida Ghaffari. Welcome to the Nadia Sahari Show.
Thank you so much, Nadia, dear. It's such an honor to be on your show. I sincerely appreciate the warm, gracious welcome. Truly an honor. In Persian culture, Sahari means the light before sunrise. Oh. And you definitely have a great light about you. So I love your name. So it's a great name to have.
Well, thank you. I didn't even know what it meant. Tell me again. What was it?
It's, how before sunrise, there's like a little bit of light and then there's the sunrise?
Yes.
It's literally Sahari is like the light before the sun comes up. There's like a twinkle of light and then the sunrise comes up. So you're the twinkle of light that before the sunrise comes up in Farsi, that is. So I don't know what it means in Arabic, but I'm assuming it must be something similar.
Very close, I'm sure. I've never looked it up. I should. Well, gee, that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it.
Of course.
Yes. And you're Ghaffari, so you can't be too far from that yourself because you're a shining light. So
you're such a doll.
Oh, well, you are.
English means merciful life. My last name. So I don't know. I'm sure yours means something very profound. I don't know what Nadia means, but I know it's the theme for The Young and the Restless. So.
Well, I know what Nadia means. It means hope.
So hope, it's like you're the sunrise light of the hope.
There you go.
So there you go.
That's why I'm always hoping, because I mean hope.
I think your hope is paid off. And I must say, I did my research on you. And again, in Persian culture, I mean, I'm not even that much I'm more of an American than anything. But
me too.
There's a word that defines you in our culture, and it's called a shir zan, which is a very strong woman. And just reading about you and your story is very inspiring. You've been through so much, and you've taken that and you've helped others with it, and you've inspired other people. And I think that's tremendous because if we come from similar cultures, and a person always has to be their best, you know what I mean? It's the Middle Eastern way. Yes. And you don't talk about stuff like that. So I think it comes from a real place of kindness, courage, and humility for you to share your story with people. So I tip my hat to you, and you are such the beauty yourself inside and out. Such an inspiring story you have. It's wonderful what you do.
Well, I'm just going to sit right down and let you interview me. You're beautiful. Thank you so much. You're so sweet, so adorable. So let's talk about you. When did you, now you were born in America, correct?
Yes, I was born and raised in the States. And without giving my age, my family was always wanting to go back to Iran. My dad worked for the U.S. government and always hoping, but unfortunately it didn't happen. So I was supposed to be living in Iran, but I guess I'm living here now. So it was a very interesting childhood. It was, after the revolution, and all these people had come and stayed with my parents. So I was really exposed to a world culture. So I was born and raised in the U.S., but, from a foreign family and in our nation's capital, Washington, D.C. So I feel like I have a different perspective than most people.
Yes. And I understand how you feel because although I was born in Lebanon, in Beirut, I am an American. And
yes.
And I'm not a Lebanese American. I am American. And
that's lovely. That's a lovely sentiment. You are an American, for sure.
That's right. And everything, my success, my dreams, everything is because I'm here, not because I'm there. And over there, I love where I was born. The culture is a little different and a little tougher on females.
It's very hard on women. And I think women have to, show more and do more and show up for more, rather. And they have to be that term that I told you, the Shirzan, because there's so little for women. And I feel like certain things have happened, in the Middle East, without getting political, where, in Lebanon, my dad said when he visited, it was amazing. Iran, it was amazing. Unfortunately, things have changed in that part of the world. I do think of myself as an American, but I really enjoy the cultural aspects of my culture, like the food, the love of family, all that stuff I really enjoy. I have a very close-knit family, close-knit group of friends. I love the food and just like the mannerisms. But yes, I am definitely steeped in American culture, especially pop culture. So for sure, definitely.
Yes. And I agree with you. I love my culture. I love the food. And I am very close and bonded with my family and friends. And yes, absolutely. I agree with you there. Totally. So let's talk about you. Now, when were you inspired to be the actress that you are today?
I think it harkens back to childhood. Like I said, my parents were very, my dad was kind of like the patriarch of the community. He was an older guy. So like I said, a lot of Iranians came and stayed with my family. My dad would help them get jobs. He'd try to get them into like local colleges and universities. And this was after the hostage crisis. Mm-hmm. So to be an Iranian student was a rough thing. So I feel like my parents were very good people. They were very preoccupied with these people. My parents, like friends, would joke that it was like a Ghaffari hotel. So being my parents, because, normally I think Middle Eastern parents are like helicopter parents, right? That's a saying, but they're always looming around the kid, or like a tiger parent. That's more of an Asian saying. But I feel like my parents didn't really loom, maybe for report cards, because, they're obsessed with grades. All parents, especially from that part of the world. But I feel like I had a lot of time on my own. So with my time on my own, what would any kid do? I would watch, like a bookish kid. I would read. I would watch like TV sitcom reruns. So I feel like that really fostered the love of entertainment. But if you juxtapose that with all the stuff going on in Iran, and sometimes my parents would go to the airport 2-3 times a day. So I would see other people's experience, and I would see like the experience of somebody that was, I don't know, like an ambassador or like a CEO, and having to come to this country and having so much yet having so little, like having that world culture and background and all this, and then being very humbled. And D.C. is the nation's capital, but I was in a suburb of Maryland. So it's north of the Mason-Dixon line, but it's still the South. Anti-Iranian sentiment was very high. So what's a kid going to do? He's going to read books and is going to watch TV. So I was really influenced, but I loved comedy initially. I was very influenced, because I had an older dad as well, by reruns of like the Carol Burnett Show, Flip Wilson. I feel like I'm a generation ahead of my own generation because I was around so many older people. But I loved like old-timey humor, like I Love Lucy, or the Marx Brothers. I love the Marx Brothers. For a time I could even like recite lines of the Marx Brothers. So take my wife, please. But I don't think that's the Marx Brothers. I think that's Sid Caesar. But anyway, so I was really entrenched in this stuff, and I'd always do school plays. But it wasn't until I went to college, I went to the University of Maryland, and it's one of the largest schools in the country. It was originally an agricultural college. So 40,000 undergraduates at the time I was there. So a person really has to get to know people, make their mark, become active. So I used to perform plays in the Black Box Theater at University of Maryland. And it wasn't until I moved here that the head of the SAG Conservatory, the Screen Actors Guild Conservatory, his name was Carl Warren, he actually built the Black Box Theater that I performed in college. So I minored in theater, I minored in journalism, I worked in Capitol Hill, but I feel like to be in DC, it's truly like a one-pony show. Two ponies, actually, either politics or journalism nowadays. There's so much journalism. So for me, it was very limiting. I joined the Screen Actors Guild back home. I was in between here and there, Los Angeles and DC, but finally, officially made the move. And I'm so grateful for it. But when I started in LA, because I had the journalism background, I was a reporter for various Persian TV stations, non-religious, non-political. I would cover premieres like, I'm dating myself, but one of the biggest premieres I covered was Hannah Montana, the movie. So I would cover all these amazing events. But again, I was with Persian media, so I'm not going to get the same spot that Entertainment Tonight or Access Hollywood's going to get. So it really gives a person grit. You really are angling to get the story, angling to get the interview. So with that, one of the engineers at one of the stations I was at was like, you know what, you've got a great voice. People hear that all the time. You should do voiceover. He's like, I'm going to take some of your clips and I'm going to submit them. A friend of mine has a studio and we'll see what happens. I can't guarantee anything. And I was like, sure, why not? This guy's not charging me any money because, LA, I call it Scam City. There's so many, bad, with all the good, there's also bad.
Amen.
Yes, actors have to watch themselves, and I'll get into that later. Everything is a hook or an angle. It's an entertainment industry. It's an entertainment business first and foremost. So he submitted me. I got a few jobs out of it, but I said, you know what? There's people at these jobs that are like seasoned voiceover people. A lot of them are either former singers or they're like, radio newscasters or sportscasters. So I took a few classes. I went to a local community college and I got this guy who does, Doug Rye was my mentor in voiceover. And he has done voiceover for like Discovery Channel, for all the big networks he's done voiceover. So I was very lucky to happen upon Doug Rye and, spend $50 a semester to be in his amazing class. So I took his class. I took various classes. I updated my reel. I got more work. And then I started venturing into on camera, which I really enjoyed. And like I said earlier, my background is mostly in improv. So that kind of was it's a very good skill to be an improviser in this industry. I think everything is at a rapid fire pace. A person has to think on their feet and be creative. I studied at the Upright Citizens Brigade, and one of the founders was Amy Poehler, who was a star of SNL. She impersonated Hillary Clinton back in the early 2000s and lots and lots of other people. But I think her Hillary Clinton is probably her most famous impression. I've never met Amy, but I've studied at her school, and it was an amazing experience.
I have to tell you, I went to Upright Citizens as well.
Wonderful.
I did, and I loved it because I love improv. I love it. It's like my favorite. And voiceover, I've taken voiceover as well. I think I've done a few voiceovers, but I do love improv, and I do love on-camera work.
It's wonderful, isn't it? And I would think for you as an artist, it's very freeing to do improv.
I love it. Yes, I do. And it is. And I think it's marvelous that you've done all of this. And you live in LA now, correct?
I do live in LA, so I feel like I have the best of both worlds. The weather's great here, and of course the industry is here. I mean, a lot of jobs have gone to different states, but there's still the bulk of everything is here.
That's true. There'll always be a Hollywood. And yes, absolutely. I'll tell you what, let's segue into your voiceover. I'm going to play one of your demo reels, and because I listened to them and I really loved it. Your voice is beautiful. Your voice is powerful. It's like it was made for voiceover commercials.
You're a doll. Thank you.
Well, I'm telling the truth. And here we go. We're going to listen to Vida's voiceover reel, one of them. Here we go.
Make water? Ooh la la. Crystal Light Natural Lemonade. Hi, it's me, your kid's lunchbox. Surprised to hear from me? I see you're cutting back on the healthy lunches. Hey, I go to school. I know things. Your first gray hair. Your first wrinkle. Your first 39th birthday. Age gracefully. Later. It's your break. Enjoy every last drop of it with a McDonald's iced coffee. Rich, creamy, invigorating, and now available in caramel. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm loving it.
That is so beautiful. I love it. Your lunchbox commercial.
Thank you.
Really, you have a great voice for commercials. Wow. Makes me want to hire you to do a voiceover commercial for me.
I would love to. I would be absolutely honored, and I would pronounce your name correctly.
Oh, I know.
Exactly. So, voiceover is, I always say the line, it's great work when you get it, because now with all the technology,
yes,
there's people across the country that are willing to do jobs on Craigslist for little to no money. Yes. So it makes it much harder for us. So there's a lot less that I do now just because of the way the industry is. And there's a lot of celebrities doing voiceover for the, big money spots, which is understandable. I do enjoy it. And I'm reoccurring on a series called The Suspense Show on XM Satellite Radio. I love it. But it's a whole different, as they say, it's a whole different ball of wax. It's a whole different can of worms. It's like a hustle. So, but I really, I think it's my favorite thing because you don't have to be off book. You can wear whatever you want to wear. And the people are so interesting. Working with the engineers, working with the booth director, working with other voiceover artists. They're very interesting people. I mean, actors are very interesting as well, but voiceover people are just a different level of interesting to me.
Well, I'll tell you what, you are telling it like it is. And we're going to play your little suspense in a little bit. But right now, you're doing acting as well, and you just acted in a movie. Tell us about that movie. What is the title, and what is it about? It was amazing. You just had the premiere.
Yes.
So tell us about it, because I don't want to talk about it. I want you to talk about it.
Oh, well, for sure. So this was a very interesting project. It was based on an article that our writer, director, producer, and star of the film, the amazing Harley Wallen, read. He read about this really incredible process where they take, and they've done it in primates, where they take the head and they put it on somebody else's body. So the reason why they would do this is, let's say somebody has cancer or whatever, or brain cancer. They can take the body and put it on another head. Or if, somebody has something. So when Harley read this article, and he's a creative guy, it tweaked his curiosity about life ever after and life everlasting. So this was a very creative invention, and it involves the story of a CEO who wants to do the right thing. She doesn't feel right about creating this technology. They've developed the prototype for this fountain of youth. She wants to pull the plug from it, and she was played by Erica Hovland. And she wants to step away from it, but then a bunch of bad people, I'll leave it at that, want to pursue her and do everything they can do to get that technology. So her family gets kidnapped, they're traumatized, they're terrorized, and they the evil people want to sway the vote so they can create this technology, but to take advantage of it. A suicidal military veteran, of all people, and a prostitute, which was played very well by Katie Wallen. She did a great job. She was like I think one of the reviewers wrote that she was the hooker with the heart of gold. As opposed to Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman, I mean, Julia Roberts was a hooker with a heart of gold. This was a more dramatic take, obviously, of a less romantic take of the hooker with the heart of gold. But so they're basically trying to assist this family that's been kidnapped. Drama ensues. It's big things are at stake. It's a moral compass, this film. It's a socioeconomic situation. It's definitely a haves and haves not story. That's what I really enjoyed about this film, and I'm not saying because I'm in it. There's a lot of different ramifications. Like, it just goes to show, like, well, the 1%, they have everything. Are they going to have access to this kind of technology that they can just, in this instance, commit heinous acts of God knows what, and then as soon as they do these bad things, they can just morph into another body? Will people be taking advantage of this technology? Is it going to benefit those that are sick people, like cancer patients, what have you, people that have trauma to the body or to the brain. So it brings up a lot of interesting sociological, economic questions, societal questions. Lots of different issues came to the forefront of this. He's just trying to explain the story and people's backstory, and he does it very effectively. And I really enjoyed working with him. He's quite a talent. He's only been doing this for a couple of years, but he just has a real knack at it. The film stars Richard Tyson from Kindergarten Cop and Black Hawk Down, Scout Taylor-Compton from Rob Zombie's Halloween 1 and 2, Billy Wirth from The Lost Boys, Yan Birch from Wes Craven's The People Under the Stairs, Katie Wallen from Betrayed, amazing legendary actor Mel Novak from Bruce Lee's Game of Death and An Eye for an Eye opposite Chuck Norris. It was a wonderful, amazing cast, and I was truly honored to work with him. And Harley also starred in the film, which I think he did an amazing job. And, that's a testament to how hard working an artist he is, that he could, pull all these hats and tell such an interesting story and very timely too, with all the technology going on.
And he did all the script writing and this movie development from a newspaper article that he read. And he named it Eternal Code.
Yes, and he named it Eternal Code because, it's for eternity. It's this code that these people created for eternity. And I love the logos are all DNA logos, like on the poster and everything. I think it might even be on the lobby cards of the movie, but very ingenious idea, a very talented man. And I really enjoyed working with him. He's definitely a very hands-on director, and he just possesses an ability to tell great stories. And working with Richard Tyson was an incredible experience. He was reciting Shakespearean sonnets in between takes for the cast and the crew, including myself.
That's cool. What was your part in this movie?
I play the scientist Nikita. So I'm this brilliant scientist, and I'm on the edge of this technology. So I'm also the love interest to Richard Tyson, who plays Oliver, and he's one of the board members, without giving too much away.
Right.
It was a wonderful experience, and, he's just very talented. He has an MFA in drama from Columbia University, so it was great working with an actor like him. You never know what you're going to get. I've worked with all types of people, but he's definitely one of my top favorites of actors to have worked with, so that was a real treat.
And Joe Williamson, what was his part in this?
I believe Joe is also a producer on the film. I want to say he's an associate producer. He's also did the publicity for the film. He's my publicist. So he really did a lot of work promoting the film. He loved the story and wanted to be a part of it. And he organized our amazing premiere that was just at the Chinese Theater. We had lots of media coverage from Getty Images, Wire Image, PR Photos, Wen, B Images, Rex Photo, Shutterstock. We had all the top photo agencies. We had many media outlets, journalists, interviewers covering the event. It was really outstanding. He's done great events before, but this one I really feel like it took the cake. He really put the effort in. And the Chinese Theater, of course, is a great venue. And to tip my hat to Joe, it was 2 days after Labor Day weekend. So you can imagine how hard it was juggling all the confirmations and whatnot with the 2 days after the holiday. Was really a coup, I think, in my opinion.
Anything that you do, any production or premiere is a lot of work. And I do have to say he did. I wasn't there. I was invited as a VIP guest. However, I wasn't feeling well and I couldn't make it. But I will make the next one. But
you have to come to the next one.
I will. And this one I heard was spectacular, and Joe shared with me. I saw pictures. It was beautiful. And now, when do they anticipate this? Is this going to be on the big screen? It's an independent right now.
So the distributor is Vision Films, and it's actually been screening in various cities. It started in the Midwest, I believe, because Harley's from Detroit, Michigan. So there were screenings via Imagine Theater. Screenings pretty much will be across the country. There were screenings via Imagine Theater in Minneapolis, Minnesota, also in Detroit, at various Imagine theaters. That's Imagine with an E. It's also going to be in various cities such as Phoenix, Arizona, I believe Philly. It's actually showing in theaters
oh, that's great.
Yeah, in New York, Chicago, NYC, Philly, Houston, Phoenix, Dallas, Atlanta, Boston, and Denver. So that's very exciting. And it was also released on VOD on the 6th. And then I believe mid-October it will be on DVD. So it's been in a very exciting whirlwind. It's been a very exciting time for all of us. And I'm honored to be a part of this film. And it really touched my heart because this was the first time I played a scientist. And in my community, I guess, my dad was a very well-known scientist. And in Persian culture, I'm very sure it's similar to Lebanese culture. Mathematicians and scientists and professors are treated like Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant.
Yes.
Without the scandals, of course, because, you know, they're bookish people. So in these cultures, those people are highly revered. So it was my first scientist role, and it led to other scientist roles. So I feel like not only did he give me the gift of casting me in this film, it gave me the gift to explore playing different characters. And I've been wearing glasses and lab coats for the past couple of films, and I've shot over the summer. So I've been over the moon for that. It's wonderful to play these kinds of roles. It's great to play smart women.
That's beautiful. I love it. I love it. Well, let's play your suspense reel and see what that sounds like. And we'll be right back with you. Don't go away.
Do we have any of those snowball cookies left?
You asked that 5 minutes ago. Has anyone gone home to make a new batch since then?
How about the gingerbread men?
That's sexist. They're not gender specific.
Okay then, how about the rum balls? Do we have any of them?
In this office, they were the first things to go.
Well then, how about
The only thing we have left is that god-awful fruitcake of Bernice's.
Hey, I spent days on that. Soaking the fruit, chopping the nuts.
It's the same Hickory Farms fruitcake I bought you 2 years ago.
Wait, didn't I buy you a Hickory Farms fruitcake 4 years ago, Jesper?
I can't remember every bit of minutia involving this place.
Of course you can. It's what you do.
Yeah, about everything. That and the obsessive counting.
And the muttering. Always with the muttering.
Oh, I know what we can do. We can sing Christmas carols.
I know what we can do. Shut up.
Hey, don't yell at Violet.
Yeah, leave her alone.
So you guys want to sing Christmas carols, huh?
Oh, good heavens, no.
Hey, if no one's gonna eat that fruitcake.
It's all yours, Jimmy.
I love it. Has anyone made any more snowball cookies? That is adorable. And then in the background, you're playing the Christmas music and everything. That is lovely. This is your radio play, actually.
This is the radio play show, Suspense Show, that's on XM Satellite Radio.
That's right.
The guy that created this, his name is John Al-Sadek. He's this young guy, but he loves retro stuff. And this was originally the Suspense aired on television. I believe it was on CBS. Back then they called it the Tiffany Network. Then it became a forerunner to the Twilight Zone. I believe Rod Serling was the original host of this, which of course he became the host of the Twilight Zone. Right. And this is recorded at Raleigh Studios. And it was just a wonderful experience. It was just a great experience. I really enjoy working with John, and he always has great actors. He uses a lot of horror actors and cult actors. I worked with Marilyn Gigliotti from Clerks, was doing an episode right after I did my episode. So you see a lot of interesting people at these things. I just loved it. They're very talented, creative people. They come up with these scripts from scratch. It was wonderful. It was wonderful.
It is. It really is. And I'm just always amazed at how a script becomes a beautiful movie. I mean, here you have this blank canvas, you have a script, the production crew, you have the actors, you have the directors, the producers, you have the script supervisors, you have the costume designers, you have so much going on, and everybody, the grips, and everybody has their own specialty. Everybody minds their own business and does their own thing because that's what they're best at. And then all of you combined, all of the people, the crew, the actors, everyone combined makes this beautiful, beautiful movie, piece of art that is incredible from paper script. It's just incredible. And I've always been amazed at that, and I love that so much, so much.
Yeah, and I think for them to pick something that's very retro and just, from the from somebody's voice is incredible. Also worked with Adrienne Wilkinson, who was on Xena Princess Warrior. She played Xena's daughter.
Oh.
So I did an episode with her. So you never know when you show up, you know, at Raleigh Studios, who you're going to end up recording. At Melrose Music is the studio there. Who you end up recording with. It could be Xena's daughter. It could be, you know, the lady from Clerks. You never know who you're going to work with. So that was an incredible experience. And I was awarded for my voiceover in that by various festivals, Wynn Film Festival, the Nollywood Film Festival, the Lucky Strikes Film Festival. So that was really an honor to get, you know, voiceover. To be awarded for my voiceover was really a tremendous experience. So that was great too. I also recently worked on a bunch of other films. I just starred in LA Shark Attack. It's an amazing film by Dustin Ferguson. He's a really wonderful filmmaker. I believe he's in his mid-30s, and he's made at least 70 films. He's really a true talent, a very talented guy. And in LA Shark Attack, it's like, you know, shark movies are popular, but it's the POV of the sharks. Like you're taking over our natural wildlife. So it's got an interesting environmental theme to it. Great actresses in it. Brink Stevens from Slumber Party Massacre, Donna Lee Heising from Samurai Cop 2, Deadly Vengeance. Just a great, great cast. We also have Maria Olsen from Paranormal Activity 3, Alan Maxson, who's one of the heads in Godzilla, King of the Monsters of King Zamora. So it was just a really great cast. And of course, Mel Novak, legendary actor, once again got to work with him. So that was a great experience. And I was a marine biologist in that one. And my character was Dr. Elaine Ripley. And it was a humorous take on Dr. Ellen Ripley, which was Sigourney Weaver's character in Alien. So they wanted to make me like her, but like not as like quirkier than Sigourney Weaver's character. She was like a true fighter. Not to say that Dr. Elaine Ripley wasn't, but Sigourney Weaver is something else in that Alien movie. And I was a little bit more dorky and nerdy, and but I really wanted to find out what's going on with the shark. So that was a great experience. I also worked on Moona the Blood Beast. It's another Dustin Ferguson film, and that had its premiere on WGUD TV. And that was just a wonderful experience. And I won Best Actress Supernatural Thriller at the Nollywood Awards. That was wonderful. And I did first franchise film for Dustin. It was Meat Hook Massacre, the final chapter, and that premiered on the Monster Channel. So that was a great experience. And, you know, playing a marine biologist for Dustin was great. And it's opened the door to other roles where I'm playing smart women. So that's just a plus for me. You know, that's just a wonderful opportunity for me.
That is fabulous. Wow. I love it. I love it. And I always ask my guests this question. What advice, what valuable advice do you have to give our listeners if they want to pursue a dream career as an actress, as a voiceover actress? What would you say?
You know, I think it all starts, number one, is showing up is very important. I feel like this stuff is common knowledge, but I also feel like it's good to reiterate. I think a lot of times, for example, like I've gone on auditions and actors complain or people don't show up, and I'm thinking, oh my God, you don't know what this opportunity is going to lead to. Even if a person doesn't get this job, they could get the next job that comes their way. So I think showing up is important. I think getting a mentor like I did for voiceover is very important. I think building a community, being a part of a community, especially nowadays with all the technology, people self-producing, you never know what you're going to get into. So I think keeping up at it, getting copies of everything is so important. Again, common knowledge, but it's so important to update the reels, to get all the information. It's truly, truly, I think, this time and day and age, there's no excuses. You know, we're not in the VCR age. We're not even in the DVD age. We're in the USB, if you will, age.
Yes.
So there's no excuses. Even if you aren't cast in anything, you could come up with your own thing. I mean, as far as I know, the Screen Actors Guild has a Taft-Hartley. I'm sure you're familiar when they approve people to get in the union, for your listeners that aren't familiar. But now I think, unless the rules have changed, I think a person can come up with a new media project and Taft-Hartley themselves into the union. So this didn't exist back in my day. I feel like an old lady, but I feel like that stuff is very important, and just to stay in touch with people and to show up. And I was just recently cast in a film called Realm of Shadows. And if I didn't have my reels and my act together, it wouldn't have happened. But It's a film by Jimmy Drain, and I play the mysterious and alluring Cassandra. And I get to work opposite someone that I'm a big fan of, legendary actor Tony Todd from the Candyman franchise and Final Destination. And talk about an amazing actor and voiceover artist. I get to work with Mr. Todd. So that I'm just over the moon for. But if I took a break or if I didn't update my stuff, I feel like a person always has to be on it. I don't like to use the word hustle but I guess it is kind of a hustle. But I think a person always has to push themselves, like whether they're in a class, whether they're, on social media, whether they're working on their materials and getting their headshots and their demo reels together. I feel like also a person has to have a great team. I have that. And Joe, he's an amazing manager. He's a hard worker. He's a bit of a tough cookie. I compare him to a coach, but I think it's good to have a coach. I mean, for a while I had a manager that would always say nice things to me, but he never got me any work. So it's great to praise somebody, but I think a problem with a lot of people is they get stuck in the praise and they keep having to keep on. You keep having to, put yourself out there. I think that's very important to put oneself out there. And like I said earlier, there's no excuses. You can submit yourself online. Lots of stuff is cast via Facebook, believe it or not. Twitter, you can read up. I follow a lot of casting directors on Twitter and producers that I want to be in touch with. So there's a lot going on. A person just has to be privy to it, especially for voiceover. There's lots of work to be had online.
And everything that you said is very valuable and very good advice for listeners. And I want to say one thing, that Joe Williamson is an amazing man. He is so kind. He is so kind and so caring. And I can't wait to see him again. I haven't seen Joe in a long time.
Wow.
I found some pictures of us, and I have them, and I'm going to post them and he's so much taller than I am.
Yeah, he's such a tall person. And I really like having him on my team for many reasons, but he's saved me from so many wastes of time.
Yes.
And LA, I call it Scam City. So many scams. He really researches people.
Yes.
He gives a famous quote from Ronald Reagan, President Reagan, who was also president of SAG, and it's trust but verify. So he always does his research with people. I feel like he saves people from a lot of bad things. And I think he allows the artist to focus on their career as opposed to you get lost in the hullabaloo of nonsense. You've lived in LA. I'm assuming you went to CB here. So as you well know, you're a smart woman. There's the heck of a lot of nonsense to be had and time wasters. And I feel like on every street corner, there's somebody talking a big game. So I feel like I have a layer of protection with him as my representation. It's very helpful, and he's a big supporter, but a person really has to be on their toes for representation like Joe Williamson. And also another thing I'm going to say is self-taping is very important nowadays.
Yes.
So if a person can finagle that, I mean, there's places all over Los Angeles if you want to, throw your money out the window. But I think it's good as a person to have that skill themselves, because sometimes I'll get an email from my agent like on a Sunday night saying, the quicker the better, because, if you get your tape in quicker, it goes in the queue quicker, apparently. So, the quicker you get this. So I've had many a Sunday night or a Friday night where I get, if you could do this, and, you could do it in the next 24 hours, but the sooner you get it out. So I think if a person becomes well-versed with recording themselves, I don't know, on a computer or on a phone or on an iPad or any sort of device, I think that's very beneficial as well, especially when you have a representation like Joe Williamson who, works 24/7 to get auditions. You don't want to squander the hard work that your team has put in if you can't record yourself saying something, into a phone for a few minutes. So that's another thing that I would really stress.
Yes. Now, where can our listeners connect with you in your social media? Tell us about that.
Sure, they can find me at Vida Ghaffari, VIDAGHAFF like Frank, ARI, or at So Very Vida, but mostly at Vida Ghaffari. I'm strongest, I believe, on Instagram. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Facebook. I'm on a variety of different platforms. So they can just find me there. And I just want to take the opportunity to thank you so much for this amazing interview. I sincerely hope you feel better, because you're the sunrise of hope, Nadia. And I'm not saying that in jest. You really inspire others with your great program. And it was just an honor to be on your show.
Thank you. You're so sweet. And I loved having you, and I'm going to have you again. And
I would love it.
I love it. And I love interviewing everyone because it is something I love to do, but I love it because I learn something from each one of you when you come on the show. And what I want most of all is for my audience to learn also from you, because everyone has a dream and we all need help and support, and we all need the education as to how to make it happen. And that's why I have this show. It's not for me. It's for everybody out there. It's for you. It's for you to have a voice and to share your love and your career and your dream and how you did it to help someone else. And thank you so much for doing this and for sharing it. You're beautiful and amazing. God bless you.
Thank you. God bless you too, dear. And you're beautiful and amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thanks again for the honor, and big thanks to Joe Williamson as well.
Amen. He is wonderful. I love that man. I can't wait to see him again.
For sure. Thanks again.
And I can't wait to see you.
I would love to meet you. I hope you come to the next big event we have. We'd be honored to have you there.
Thank you.
Thank you, dear.
Thank you to Vida Ghaffari for being on my show. What a beautiful soul. What a beautiful guest. I love her so much. I can't wait to meet her, have coffee with her or something. I need to do that. She's probably one of the few that I haven't met. But I do want to tell you, I also enjoy the fact that you're listening to my show and that you join me every Tuesday. I want to tell you that my show is about inspiration, motivation, and education. And this is all for you, listeners. This is all for you. And the people that I have are amazing and wonderful. And I hope that you glean from them, because that's what it's all about. We all need support. We all need help. No one can do anything on their own. Thank you again. God bless you all. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful life. And make sure your dreams come true. Are you making your dream come true?
Thanks for tuning in with Nadia and her guests. For more info, episodes, and connection, please visit our website, thenadiasaharishow.com. Share episodes with your friends. Follow us on Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, Instagram, and most importantly, never give up. Live your dream.
Latin Connection magazine is a family magazine featuring people of influence, cultural events, and traditions, recipes and photos of Latin food, Hispanics in business. Plus, get news on Latin festivals, Latin entertainment, and Latinos in the fashion industry, and see photos of Latinos in action all over the U.S. Conoce tu vecino y mucho más. We invite you to share your special event with us at LatinConnectionMag.com. Latin Connection Magazine. Conexión Latina y mucho más. Latin Connection Magazine. It's for anyone and everyone to enjoy, no matter who you are.